So I was 19 years old, making my debut in the NRL, and I thought I was unstoppable. All the hard work I'd done over the years was paying off. But then I realized instead of focusing on my own game, I was too busy watching everybody else's. Hi, my name's Cameron McInnes, and for the last 13 years, I've had the privilege of calling myself an NRL player, which basically means I chase the ball around for a living. So when I was given the opportunity to be here today, I felt pretty nervous. Obviously, speaking in front of a crowd's hard for anybody, but the main fears and doubts, the thoughts I kept having was, how could I give a talk that was anywhere near as good as TED Talks I'd seen in the past? I'm just a footy player. But then I realized that fear, that doubt, uncertainty came from me comparing myself to others. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today, the comparison trap, and why the key to real growth comes from when you focus on yourself and being the best you can be. Obviously, focusing on yourself in this day and age is easier said than done. We live in the social media age where we've got the phones. All you got to do is turn it on and you're given a highlight reel of how good everybody else is going. Birthdays, weddings, holidays, achievements, you name it. And yeah, you can be happy for people, but it's hard to feel like, not feel like everybody's doing better than us. I feel pretty fortunate. I grew up in a time where even though we had Facebook, MSN, you were on the computer at night, we didn't have the phones with us all the time. So you're able to get about your day and live in the moment, so to speak. And coupled with that, I had a real tunnel vision, a bit obsessive, my parents would say. I wanted to be a first grader, and that's all I wanted to do. So I'd train, work hard, not look sideways, and just get about my business. Thankfully, that hard work paid off. When I was 18, signed my first professional contract with the Rabbitohs. A year later, I was making my debut. And looking back, I was extremely fortunate to be part of a 2014 NRL Grand Final squad that broke a 42-year drought for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So you'd think that, a young kid, 19, loving it, on top of the world, and you just keep going. But around that time, instead of just working hard and improving myself and getting better each day, I started looking sideways. I probably wasn't getting the opportunities I felt I deserved. There was a really good player ahead of me at the time. And instead of just working hard, I started getting a little bit jealous of players in my team that were my age, were playing week in, week out, and players at other teams that I thought I was better than. And it wasn't a good headspace to be in. And around that time, that player moved on. And then I thought, here we go. It's my time to shine now. It's my stage to perform on. But then the club thought, which is rightly so, to bring in another player similar age to me to compete, get the best out of both of us. But, at this time and the mindset I was in, that was the worst thing that could happen. Instead of just focusing on my strengths, being the best version of myself, I started looking at him. What does he do? How do I be better than him? How do I outdo him? And anybody that's played in a team sport knows when you start doing that, you're not focused on the team. You don't want to play with that player, number one. But the second thing, your performance just drops. And that's exactly what happened. And coupled with that, I thought at the time it would be good to get on Instagram and see what the fans thought. Who was the better player, which is the worst thing you could do. But also the feedback wasn't great because they were saying that the other player was better. So, long story short, my performances dipped, got dropped from the team, and not long after that, I left the club. And those setbacks for a young fella's hard, but the worst part of it was those feelings of anxiety and depression I was having every day. I lost my self-confidence. I didn't know who I was as a player or even as a person. And I even started doubting, do I want to do this anymore? For me, from the age of 5, all I'd want to do was play footy. So the fact that I was starting to question that, it scared me. Thankfully anyway, as we've gone on, I got an opportunity in another club, which, I will be forever grateful for. But when I went to that club, I said to myself, things are going to be different. So the first thing I did was just get off social media completely. I didn't need that. I wanted that tunnel vision back. And then the other one said to myself was I was going to be the best teammate I could be, which meant, competing to be my best, turning up every day, but making sure that I celebrated my teammates. If someone was doing something good, instead of comparing and I need to do that, I was like, no, I want to celebrate them. And as a result of that, my performances improved. I enjoyed footy a lot more, and thankfully I'm still playing NRL today. So, but from that, I learned a key lesson, and that was, don't compare yourself to others. Compete against yourself and nobody else. But obviously that's quite specific to my, life as a footballer. But I believe some of the lessons I've learned early on have been really valuable for me in my life today as a family man. I've got 3 beautiful children, and when my eldest boy Noah is 8 today, but when he was 3, he was diagnosed with autism. When I found out that we were having a boy first, like many dads, I started thinking, oh, how good's this? What did I do as a kid with my dad? Bike rides, going to the footy, just all the things that I did, or maybe things that I saw older players that I'd seen with their kids do at the club, and I couldn't wait. What I realized now, I was putting expectations on him before he was even born. So Noah was born, we started, seeing some developmental things as we go, and then at the age of 3, he got diagnosed. Thankfully, and I have my partner to thank for this, she's been amazing the whole time, but we said to ourselves, we're not going to focus on, what other kids do. It's about what Noah needs and the strengths he has. And, again, on social media, you can look and you can see what other families are doing on holidays, or, what they get up to, but that's not realistic for us. We have our routines. Anybody else with a neurodivergent child or relative might know routines need to be stuck to. Spontaneous activities are a no-no, and sometimes the emotions can be heightened, which can be confronting for other people, but, we know how to deal with it. But as a result of that approach we've taken, we've been able to not only see Noah thrive and grow and become just the most amazing 8-year-old you could ever meet, but also our family have found enjoyment in our journey, which has been, the most amazing part of it for me. So, I guess, I don't want to stand up here and tell everybody, oh, the key to real growth is stick your head in the sand and don't look around what's going on. It's not realistic in this day and age. Social media is everywhere, but it's good too. You connect with people, share ideas. It's a good platform, and also to inspire people as well. So I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is you need to be careful that you're not using it as a yardstick to measure your life against somebody else's. I think real success and success that you can be proud of and you can hold on to comes from having a crack and doing your best and seeing what the outcome can be. So I guess if I can leave you with anything, whatever you want to do in life or whatever comes your way, compete, strive, grow, have a crack at it, but make sure you're not measuring yourself against somebody else's scoreboard. Because when you stop comparing, you start thriving.